Hi, I'm Ryan Wright.
And I'm Michelle Q, filling in for Jerry.
Welcome to Reasons to See,
where we give you reasons to see
and not to see
The Great Gatsby.
So let's hang out, old sport. Reason to see number 1. Leonardo DiCaprio. DiCaprio is the reason to see this fucking movie. I would recommend this movie just off of him alone. I think DiCaprio is the shit. They edify Gatsby for so long before he finally shows up on screen, and the split second that he finally appears, you're like, I know what everyone's talking about based off the way you're coming across and your smile and everything about you. You're just, he's life. He embodies this guy.
The Great Gatsby is one of my favorite books, and when I found out that Leonardo DiCaprio was going to be playing Gatsby, I was like, oh my god, he is perfect. I couldn't imagine anyone else playing the role, and I'm really glad that he absolutely delivered on my expectations.
They talk a lot about Gatsby being very hopeful, and there is that sense of like boyish type of hopefulness inside of this guy. And
absolutely.
At the same time, he's got the swag down and everything. He is the shit. The bottom line is this, like, as far as I feel about the movie, I don't find it to be that great, but the movie's called The Great Gatsby, and how is DiCaprio as Gatsby? Well, he goes beyond great in this film.
Yeah, he's amazing. Reason to see number 2. Tobey Maguire.
Tobey Maguire's good in this film. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's like one of his exceptional standout performances. I will say those scenes between him and DiCaprio are very, very good.
They got great chemistry.
Yeah, I know they've been friends for many, many years, since I think they're like their teen years or something like that. And that type of camaraderie really does show in this movie, because honestly, it seems a little homoerotic to me at first.
I don't think so, but
you don't think it's
I know you do. I don't.
No, it's kind of homosexual at first. He's like, you can have anything you want. Anything.
I didn't think
I don't know you.
Homosexual though. I just felt like Gatsby, he struggled and he always wanted to be wealthy, and he sees this guy, Nick, who's just a really upstanding guy who is kind of low on the totem pole and is trying to help him out and be an inspiration for him, be his mentor, take him under his wing. I didn't see it as the homoerotic.
That's what you got?
Yeah, that's how you kind of get from the book too.
A mentorship?
Yeah.
What?
Like a friendship mentorship.
I don't see that at all in this movie. He was just trying to, at first it seemed like he was trying to use him to get to Daisy.
Well, okay, that aspect, of course, yes, because Nick is Daisy's cousin. But at the same time, that doesn't mean...
Why else would he have interest in him to take him under... Why? He doesn't even know the guy. And he's like, here, you can fly around on my plane with me.
Yeah, but I think the fact that he sees Nick as this good guy, and he does try... of course, he has alternative motives where he, wants to kind of use Nick to get to Daisy.
Use Nick.
But that does not mean that he doesn't establish a genuine friendship with Nick, because Nick becomes his confidant.
I know, it was a homoerotic relationship at first.
No, I don't think it was a homoerotic relationship.
Yeah, he is.
His name's
Nick. What does Nick rhyme with? Everyone knows what Nick rhymes with.
You know what? That does not mean it's homoerotic. Maybe you think that. I'm just gonna take my innocent little self here and pretend.
He lets everyone come to his party, and he gives one invitation out, and it's to his next door neighbor. Because Nick doesn't go to the parties, but he's always curious about the parties. Like, he's just kind of trying to establish... Are you going off the book, or are you going off the movie?
Both.
I think you're going off the book more than you are the movie. Because in this movie, it certainly came across a little gay.
I didn't think so, but you know what? That's just me. I guess you think it's gay. That's fine. Reason
to see number 3. Carey Mulligan. Carey Mulligan is a character in this film that is attractive. Even Tobey Maguire, you're probably going to disagree with me on this too. Tobey Maguire seems like he wants to put his penis in her at first.
He does not.
I'm pretty sure he does.
No, he doesn't.
Do you not see the way he introduces Daisy into the story? She's like all beautiful, and he's like, every guy would stare at her.
Yeah, because why wouldn't she? Like, haven't you ever had...
Why wouldn't he want to fuck his cousin?
You have a hot cousin, and you know that a lot of guys think she's attractive.
I will never describe my cousin the way Tobey Maguire describes
How did he describe his cousin?
I don't remember. I just remember he wants to have sex with his cousin.
No, I didn't get that whatsoever.
That's why when I was watching the movie, that's why I asked you when we were watching it, is that his cousin? Because I was a little concerned for the relationship. DiCaprio wanted to suck Maguire's dick, and Maguire...
No!
bonus cuts.
Oh my god.
Simple as that.
I really don't think it was like that.
And anyway, Carey Mulligan's in it. She does a really good job in it. She's absolutely beautiful. I think she's breathtaking.
Yeah, she does a really great job as Daisy. She captures the character absolutely well. She's an upcoming actress. Every time I see her in something, I just am just taken aback, like, wow, she's just keeps on growing and developing into a great actress.
It's a hard character to make likable in a lot of ways, because there's times where you're really not supposed to like her, and there are times where you're really supposed to be rooting for her. It's hard to find that balance where you'll still be on board for this character, even though sometimes she's not the most likable person.
Reason to see number 4, Joel Edgerton.
Joel Edgerton. If you guys don't know who that is,
Tom.
he plays Tom, and you might not know who Joel Edgerton is.
I have no
A lot of
idea
people
what
don't know
else
who
he's
Joel
in.
Edgerton is.
He's a good
Apparently he's in this movie called Warrior, and he does a really good job in it. I've seen most of Warrior.
Is he British?
Is he British? I don't know if
I feel
he's
like
British.
he would be a British person.
I don't think he is British. But anyway, he does a really good job. He essentially plays the villain in this film. He's like the perfect opposite of Gatsby in this movie.
Antagonist, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Sorry.
Whereas Gatsby goes more for like the really classy type of guy and portraying that, this guy has a lot more of that rough sort of American old school edge.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're the
Old school
they're the
rich.
perfect counterbalance for each other. And him and DiCaprio have not that many scenes together, but the few scenes they have are some of the best moments
Yeah.
in this film.
They know how to play off each other really well.
Like, literally, the cast is the reason to see this movie. Because
Definitely.
when the film takes the time to slow down and let the actors just do what they do best, that's when the film is really dynamite. That's when the emotional impact is really there. And there's this one particular scene that takes place in a hotel with Joel Edgerton and DiCaprio. That's probably the best scene in this whole entire
yeah, that was
movie.
a great scene. Woo, what a great.
So Joel Edgerton does an excellent job. To me, he's probably, even though we put him down as 4th on this list, he's probably the 2nd best reason to see this movie. He has a lot of inner turmoil. You can feel all this repressed shit that just slowly is coming out of him as this story progresses. Like, there's greed in this guy. There's evil in this guy.
Yeah,
and you can
exactly.
feel all that. And it's a constant inner struggle with this human being.
Yet at the same time, there's something likable about him.
Reason to see number 5, production design. I love movies that take place during this time period because I've always been fascinated with like everything from like the early 1900s to like the 50s. To see them bring the 20s back to life in such a beautiful way is awesome just to look at. From the costumes to the set pieces, everything is just looked absolutely fantastic. It makes you want to relive that time period in a way. It kind of makes you want to go on those parties with those kinds of guys and live it up the way they did back
You
then.
really see how the main thing to do back then was to party. And it's kind of crazy because these are older people and it's like, that's not really what people do these days. But my point is that you basically get so immersed into that lifestyle.
It's like you want to be part of the personality, you want to be part of the style, you want to be part of just the whole overall environment.
Reasons not to see. The writing and directing.
While this film certainly has its moments where there's greatness, it constantly goes back and forth between rush, information, random visual scenes, and there's just a whole bunch of crap, and then let's slow down and have a moment of greatness.
It's not consistent, and that's kind of irksome.
Yeah, there's a lot of major tonal inconsistencies.
Yeah.
And especially like DiCaprio doesn't come until maybe like 15-20 minutes into the film, and everything before DiCaprio shows up is just a shitload of visuals and a lot of information, and it's like literally just the editing is out of control.
Oh my god,
and you don't really know what's going on, and you just hear a narration and scenes of dialogue, but they're showing other shit going on while people are talking. It really has a lack of focus. It's like they didn't know what this movie wanted to be about. Did they want it to be about feeling like you're back in the 20s? Did it want to be about the characters? What was the message they were trying to convey? I felt like the filmmakers didn't know what. I never read the book, but I felt like they themselves didn't fully understand what this book was about.
And I've heard that people say, oh, I guess it's the Gatsby, Great Gatsby is just a really hard book to adapt into a movie. You know, honestly, I don't think that it's that hard. I mean, okay, I'm not a movie maker or anything, but I feel like this movie had potential to be amazing, be excellent, right on par. And because of this inconsistency, it just just blew it.
What I think about it is Baz Luhrmann, the director of this film, if he just held back a little bit, because this film is very much extreme in terms of trying to bombard it with a shitload of energy.
And it didn't need that.
And if he held back just a tiny bit, you know, like when actors are talking, if he left the camera on the actors rather than cutting around to a bunch of other weird shit that's going on, it would have been that much better. Like, it's all there. All the ingredients are there. But if the director just decided to hold back a little bit, they would have had a very, very solid film instead of having such a split audience about it.
What a disappointment.
Split decisions. The visual effects. This is a split decision not because we necessarily disagree, but because the visual effects, they become very distracting after a certain point, which is
so distracting.
Kind of early on. Like, they look good throughout, they look amazing, but it's bombarded. Like, that is the word for it when it comes to the visual effects.
It was so annoying because I just wanted to like just take off like a lens so I could see it clearly, because I just kept getting so distracted by these fancy shots, fancy camera angles, fancy this, fancy that.
And it was at the most inappropriate times.
And it was just so unnecessary. And honestly, I know you didn't feel this way, but Gatsby's house, to me, it was obviously computer generated, and it was so obvious to me that it was distracting.
I love Gatsby's house, yeah.
The inside was beautiful. Inside was not. That looked like either a real house or a set. It looked authentic. But the outside looked really computer generated, and I did not like that. It was super distracting. Every time we saw the outside, I was just like, I feel like I'm playing a video game right now.
It's not that this film doesn't have substance, it's just there's significantly more style than substance in this film.
The substance gets lost in this style, you know?
That's a good way to put it.
He cared more about, ooh, let me just flash shit at you. And it was like, just shut the fuck up and let me watch the damn like layer of the movie. I don't need this veneer that you're trying to show off.
That was good. That was really good. Ryan's consensus. Leonardo DiCaprio is the main reason to see The Great Gatsby. Leonardo DiCaprio is the main reason to see The Great Gatsby. Honestly, it's called The Great Gatsby, and DiCaprio is beyond great.
Michelle's consensus. There are some reasons to see The Great Gatsby. There are some reasons to see The Great Gatsby. You know, I love the cast, and that's pretty much it.
Alright guys, thanks for checking out our show. Why don't you go ahead, scroll to that comment box below and tell us what you thought of The Great Gatsby, how it compared to the book, and is this the best remake they've done of the novel? Tell us below.
And if you would like to see more episodes of Reasons to See, click the link right here.
And if you want to see my straight to the point review of Great Gatsby, click the link right here.
And last but not least, remember to subscribe!
Wow, you were really excited about telling the audience to subscribe there.
You know what? I just love you guys so much, and I want people to subscribe. Subscribe to my friends, you guys.
Yes.
They're funny, they're sexy, they got big dicks, everything you could want.
We're sexy movie critics with big dicks. That's what people know.
Don't ask me how I know that. They're so big you can see it. No, when they walk around. So yeah, there we go.
Especially when we're naked.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
We started doing these reviews naked. And
just to warm up, you know.
Yeah, because we were like, how do we get as comfortable with each other as possible? And so we did it in the nude, and it was fine. And then, yeah, it was great.